Yes, underused. When I get like a lot better with Inkling, and if I take the game serious long term, then I would look into having a second character. Because I don't really think it's a good idea to solo main in this game. I think that's gonna be like the case in the future, at least. That it's good to have like 2 characters, maybe 3. I think solo maining is gonna be incredibly hard in this game. Do I fear MKLeo's Ike? Nah. Like, obviously he's good, he would destroy me, but I wouldn't say fear is the right word. More as like respect and, you know, be able to learn. Even though I don't play the same character, I can obviously still learn from him, since he's a very good player. Advice for playing against someone who is playing hyper aggressive. A lot of times when people play really aggressive, at least good players, they tend to like, how do you say? They expect you to be afraid of them. So what you should do instead of like trying to run away from them is to run straight at them and attack even earlier. Kind of like the saying, fight fire with fire. Because what a lot of aggressive players do, they expect you to like move away from them, and they go slightly further to catch you moving away from them. So instead of moving away from them, you move towards them and attack super early. How do I feel about Leffens' comments on the European scene? Like, his overall point is right, but of course, like, sometimes he might not do it in like the most, you know, convenient way or whatever you want to say, but his overall message is true. Europe is, compared to North America and Japan, if you take like the later Smash games, Europe is bad. That's the case. Like, it's not like even that the players in Europe that are like around the top, that they are bad players, but it is bad that we don't have more at that level, and especially that we don't have more players at a higher level. Like, if you take Smash 4, it's bad that we don't have more players around Mr. R's level, or even maybe even higher than Mr. R. Like, Mr. R was the only person you could expect in top 8s in the US for Smash 4. If Sakurai wanted to hire me to make balance patches and DLC movesets, would I be down? Yeah, I'll be down. Assuming like I have some sort of like impact. Like, I understand, like, just because someone is hired on like something like that, that doesn't mean like whatever they say goes through. But as long as I feel like I would have like a chance on like, you know, helping out for Rio with improvements, then I'll be down for it. Or actually it depends. If I would have to move to Japan, then I actually probably wouldn't do it now when I think about it. What do you think about Zero not going to Genesis? Oh, I mean, like, you know, it's his choice. Like, of course it's fun to see a player of Zero's caliber going to tournaments, but if you think about it, it's understandable. Like, his stream is like really popping off. Didn't he have like, I think I tuned in like yesterday or 2 days ago, and he was like 19,000 subscribers. That's a crazy amount of money. But with how well his streaming situation worked out at the Smash conference, I think he might end up going to more tournaments than he originally thought. I think the main thing is honestly that competing in tournaments and being a good player, it spreads the word of who you are. Like, a lot of people know about you, but at a certain point, I don't think it helps as much. Like, no tournament player, no active competitor is as big on Twitch as the biggest people on Twitch. The biggest people on Twitch are normally people that have been competitors in the past that stopped competing, maybe even stopped competing to stream full time. So I don't even think that's necessarily like the case that you have to keep competing, otherwise you lose out on like you know, stream success. Zero's stream gained traction after he stopped competing, for example. I don't think that's necessarily the case for everyone either, but I think for the people that still have a successful stream after they stop competing, like long term, not 3 months, not 6 months, but long term, like at least a year plus, I think their streams are gonna go better because they can focus more on streaming instead of like traveling all the time. It's really hard to stay consistent with streaming when you're always, you know, on airports, traveling, all of that stuff. In Overwatch, Seagull, XQC have better stream success now that they're not pros. Yeah, it's like you used to have way more time. And the thing is also, like, Leffen tweeted about this yesterday, and I do agree. Even if you play, like, let's say for example Ultimate, since that's what I'm streaming right now, even if I do stream Ultimate many hours per day, regardless if you play your main the entire time or, you know, mixing it up, the fact of like interacting with like chat, stuff like that, practice partners being at very various levels, these kind of things also, like, it's not optimal for practice. Like, the best practice I had while like streaming and stuff was the boot camps when we basically did not interact with chat. And was playing as people, you know, like Leffen or, you know, Wizzy or Mango if they came over, or I went, you know, to different regions. Because then you focus like so much and you play against people that super push you to the limit. So that's also like for a short period of time, sure. I think a lot of people will find it interesting. Like, oh, you're playing against, like, if I play against Leffen or Mango in melee, for example, it's gonna be like, oh, that's, you know, some sick melee. But eventually, like, it might not be as interesting to watch if people are not, like, you know, quote unquote, paying attention to the viewers, which is understandable. But as a competitor, that's the type of practice that's the best for you if you want to succeed. Which also means that the balance between streaming and competing can be hard. Yeah, you don't have to interact with chat, but like if you look at big streamers on Twitch, it's like very common that even like by interacting with chat, I also don't necessarily mean like taking every question, but it can also be like, you know, telling stories and whatnot. But the best practice you get is like from focusing on what you're doing 100%. Yeah, but Shrek, as I said, like, it doesn't necessarily have to be like responding to people, but it's still like, you know, telling stories, like a lot of things that means that having 100% focus on like learning. Like if you want to learn like Smash, for example, as quick as possible, dividing your focus is not gonna do that. That's not gonna give you the same improvement ratio of someone that focuses 100% on what's going on. Why do they lose like certain exchanges? Of course you can analyze stuff like that afterwards, but you're still slowing down the process. Around how much was the whole stream setup? Well, some of these like equipment stuff is more expensive over here than in some other countries, but I honestly probably spent around 10k. But it was like I literally bought everything new except for the screen I'm actually playing at. So I bought like 2 additional screens, super good professional camera, the mic, the all computer parts, lighting, like literally everything you can think about. 4 headsets when like we're multiple people, 4 headsets in case we're playing teams on stream, which we're gonna do tomorrow for melee most likely. So it was like everything. No, Leffen very quickly improving in melee. Like at Genesis 2, I think Leffen had been playing for slightly more than a year and a half, and he got 17th. And Genesis was like, yeah, obviously a super major, right? And then after playing about 4 years, he was like at the highest tier, you know, with like me, Mango, PP, Hbox, Mutaking. Like he was on that tier in like 4-ish years, and he was also like, and still is very good at Dragon Ball. So I honestly don't understand this like perception people have, or idea that is like, oh, this player can't make it that far. Like, I know when I said that if I take this game long term, I'm also convinced I could be the best in the world. Assuming I like the game enough and, you know, dedicate myself to it. And a lot of people are like, oh, no. He will never be able to do this, or this. It's like, why would I not be able to? Like, I feel like too many people have this idea that to be the best, you need to have like some random gift by God that allows you to possibly be good at stuff. It's not like, oh, you can work hard for it and you can improve. It's like, it's pre-decided what players are going to be good. And I just never really understood that. And then even like also, like if you look at cases like Sane in Melee played Melee for about four years, maybe slightly more, before he actually won his like first big tournament. Like not a super major, but you know, a big tournament. Like beating both Mango and HBox at Shine to win. IBDW, that's a brother here in the chat. I think he has played for like 2.5 years, and he's like ranked top 30 in the world. So like when you think about these type of things, it's really crazy how it's like, oh, a player like Leffen can't make it up to that tier in a new game when he has already proven himself to be like really fucking good at games. Like, of course, everyone can't be the best in the world simultaneously. That's, you know, obviously not how it works. I just don't understand how people are so certain that someone like Leffen can't make it up there. Yeah, this game is going to be around for a long time. Or, it's going to be around until the next Smash game. But, unlike Smash 4, I don't think it's going to, like, you know, become much more stale towards the end.